Hey, hey, hey! Welcome to Ashley's Film Reviews. Today we're going to be talking about the new Little Mermaid movie that came out in May of 2023. This is a very, I want to say, controversial movie because Ariel has always been white-skinned, had bright red hair. She's known for her bright red hair, more than her skin color. Her purple seashells of a bra, and then of course her green tail. Alright. They remade the movie in a live-action version. They say they revitalized it, is the way that they phrase it. Like made it a little bit more modern, I think. And, they didn't make it more modern. I don't know why they said that. They basically, I feel like they tried to make it more realistic because, you know, when you watch these Disney fairy tales, the princesses stories, sometimes they're not super realistic. Like, they're entertaining movies to watch, but maybe they're not super realistic, or you don't fully know people's motives behind stuff. And maybe if you watched like the live action, I feel like they kind of explored that idea a little bit and they kind of explained a little bit more. But this movie got a lot of criticism, it got a lot of praise, it got a lot of attention around it because they cast a black girl as Ariel. And I have to say, that did not put me off from watching the movie at all. I'm a big fan of Little Mermaid. You know, I have a friend who's like obsessed with the movie Little Mermaid. I was always more of a Sleeping Beauty kind of girl. That's still my favorite Disney princess, my favorite fairy tale, because she looks like me. Anyway, Ariel was one of my first favorites. I was always in love with Prince Eric. I always thought they just were such a beautiful couple. I related to Ariel in wanting to rebel against your parents or against your father. You know, the mother is never really spoken of in the animated film. Now, I didn't make any notes for this, so if I need to, I'll make another, like, maybe a more in-depth video. But this is kind of, we just watched this movie last night, so this is my kind of response to that, or my initial impression of the movie. The Little Mermaid 2023 is not a great movie. I'm going to go ahead and say it. It's not a great movie. And it's not because they cast a black girl as Ariel. Okay, not at all. Halle Bailey, and I always want to say Halle Berry, okay? So if I slip up and say Halle Berry, just know I mean Halle Bailey. For whatever reason, I want to say Halle Berry or Hailey Bieber, and I'm not even sure who Hailey Bieber is. I'm not a fan of hers. I don't follow her, anything like that, but like those are the two. I always get those mixed up. So, anyway, I think she did a pretty good job. I think she could have done better, but I think that's kind of true of most movies. You can always find something to critique, and you know, even if you did an excellent job, there's always little things she could have done better. But she did a really good job. I felt like her acting was good. Her voice was good. There were some songs in which I felt like she put emphasis on the wrong words, kind of like there's a movie on Disney Plus, and it is The Little Mermaid, and it's where Queen Latifah plays Ursula, and it's like a play, a musical, and it was so hard to watch because they, you know, in the original movie the songs go a certain way and they keep a certain rhythm, right? And they end, you know, you sing a line and it ends on a specific word, and then, you know, you do another one. And I think we're all used to that. And as in that musical, they did not do that. They put emphasis on the wrong things. They said it differently than they did in the movie. And I don't know if it's asking too much, you know, but it was the same way throughout this whole movie. There were additional songs that weren't that great. Eric, I couldn't get into him. I'm sorry. I'm sure that the guy is a really nice guy. I'm sure he's a great actor. Not attracted to him at all. Couldn't relate to that at all. You know, I feel like the animated version, he was so gorgeous. And I don't know who else they could have gotten to play him. Although John Stamos comes to mind, and I know he's older. So that would have been kind of weird for that movie, especially considering that like Ariel is like 16 and then Eric is, you know, just, you know, slightly older. I think he's in his early 20s, but like not super old, you know. But I feel like John Stamos, like his face would have been closer to Eric's face in the movie. Halle Bailey did a great job as Ariel. I feel like the movie was just lackluster. You guys, I feel like people talked about how well Melissa McCarthy did as Ursula. She's good. She was good. But again, singing the songs, emphasis on the wrong things. I feel like she brought more humor to the role, and I feel like she did bring that little extraness to the role, and I feel like she did, you know, add a couple of things to the character, add some more depth to the character. It made you like sympathize with her just a little bit, and you don't do that in the animated film. She is portrayed as a villain, you know, so we villainize her. We look at her as a villain. They explored different things in this movie, like when Ariel. Now, I'm going to include spoilers, but I feel like since the movie's been out since 1993, this is a very well-known movie. This is a very well-known story. So if you haven't seen it yet, then, you know, maybe you should go watch the animated or read the story about it or the plot. But after Ariel accepts Ursula's offer, she becomes a human. When she goes up on shore, instead of her friends swimming her to shore, they swim her to the top of the ocean. They swim her, you know, to the surface. And then she gets caught in a fisherman's net, and it's just this whole thing. And to me, there were so many things. It's almost like when you read a book and then you watch a movie, I'm like, that's not right, that's not right. My husband Jason was the same way. He was just watching it, and he's like, if one of us didn't say it first, the other one would, you know. And I had just watched the movie the other night, and it just wasn't good. The animals, not great at all. The animation was not good. Sebastian was still pretty funny, but it looked doofy. Like, the animals looked doofy. Flounder should have been bigger. They took out the whole crab chase scene, which is absolutely hilarious. Okay, they added a queen, so Eric has this, you know, queen that's like his mother, except she's not his mother. And and the thing is, like, the queen is black, and I thought in the whole movie, because Triton is saying that Ariel's mother, they hate humans because humans took her mother, killed her mother, and took her away. Well, and then you find out Eric's like foster mom, because they're not biologically related, which is interesting to me. But anyway, is black, and she hates the mer people, and they're all through the movie they make out that, you know, they think the mer people are evil, and that, you know, they're trying to take the ocean back. And I don't know if it's necessarily the mer people, but like they think the ocean's trying to take its land back. And I was like, it would have been interesting if the queen would have been Ariel's mother, you know, and she had ties to King Triton. I think, did I say King Triton? Anyway, I thought that would have been interesting. You know, that's a missed opportunity, and it could have provided sequels. I have to say, I read some people's, I don't remember if it was on Reddit or if it was on, well, I don't remember where it was, but folks said that if this was a movie, if they had taken Ariel off of it and like changed the name of the mermaid and like just called it a movie about a Little Mermaid, not the Little Mermaid, I feel like it would have done a lot better. For me, it's not close enough to the animated version. And I know the animated version, it's easier to do because you can draw the characters out. So it's, you know, they can do unhumanistic things, you know, unrealistic expectations can be met. Whereas when you have human actors and actresses, they have limits. There's only so much they can do. And, you know, with CGI, they can do certain things, but they can't, you know, there's just certain things they just can't do. And I think that's okay. But the movie just missed the mark for me. It really did. I enjoyed most of... And another thing, and here's another thing that bothered me, is that they changed the name of the mermaids, I feel like. Ariel's sisters, I feel like the names of the mermaids were different. And it was King Triton calling his daughters from the seven seas. And, you know, like there's Indira, which is the Indian Sea. And you have Mala, who is like the Asiatic Sea. And it's like, okay... what sea is Ariel over? And it all starts with him saying, I look forward to hearing your reports about your oceans. And it's just like, there's some plot holes that I don't understand why they were included in there. I feel like too much was explored, you know. Stick to the original script, stick as close to that as you can. And I feel like this movie would have been far more successful. The animated version is a cute movie. It's an adorable movie. This movie could have been so much more well done. It really could have. So, that being said, I'm going to rate this a 2 out of 5 stars. Some of the acting was absolutely deplorable. Okay. Eric was, I don't want to say that the actor was completely ugly. He's not. It's just, I'm not attracted to him. I feel like part of the allure in The Little Mermaid was Eric was a prince. He was attractive. She just instantly at sight, she just saw him and she was like, wow. You know, in this movie, Ariel's hair is more of a ginger color than bright red. Could be a problem for some people. You know, she's a fictional character. You know, I'm kind of like, that wasn't a problem for me. I think she's a beautiful girl. I think she sang beautifully. I think she performed beautifully in her scenes, but that couldn't save the movie. That really couldn't save the movie. Yeah, I'm sorry. Will I watch the Little Mermaid animated version over and over and over again? Yes. Will I watch that version of Little Mermaid again, the 2023 version? I may watch it a couple more times if I do a more intensive video. Because I feel like every time you watch a movie, you pick up something different. You see something different than you saw the first time or the second time. So there's that. But my rating is 2 out of 5 stars. It failed big time. This was a flop. Disney, you gotta get your stuff together. Like, I don't know what you're doing over there. I don't know what happened with this movie, because it was kind of like you were trying to stick to the original, but also make it like newer and like change things to make it like more realistic or whatever. I don't know what happened in the writing of this film. Melissa McCarthy couldn't save it. Halle Bailey couldn't save it. The Triton guy, like, I always, you know, there's memes going around, you know, like, you relate to Ariel when you're a kid, but then when you get older, you want to call Triton daddy, you know, because he's so attractive. He's attractive in the animated version. He's not that attractive in this live action movie. I'm going to tell you right now. It just, a lot of it didn't always make sense to me. So that's why I gave it 2 out of 5 stars. Let me know if you've watched this movie, whether you watched it in theaters, whether you watch it. It was available on the Disney Channel as of September. The Disney Channel. That's how old I am. When we got special previews where we got 2 weeks of the Disney Channel for free. Let me know if you've seen this on Disney Plus, in the theater, whatever. And let me know your thoughts on it. And I realize, like, as a pale girl, maybe an unpopular opinion, I don't know. I don't feel like the movie, you know, her being black, that had nothing to do with how bad the movie was. You know, I feel like that, you know, the movie was bad, but it wasn't because of her. Okay. There was just parts of it, like in the very end when, you know, Triton is brought back to life essentially, and you know, his staff, Ariel's holding the staff and is getting ready to hand it to him. There's just this awkward period of time where she's like holding it in front of him and he's just like looking at her with like these dead eyes, and she's just looking at him, and then he looks back at her, and it's just this awkwardness, and I'm just like, what is this supposed to represent? So many things I don't understand. So I may do a more in-depth, if you guys want me to do a more in-depth review, let me know. I am happy to do that. But I really did not like this movie too much. I think 2 out of 5 stars is being quite generous. So yeah, let me know what you think in the comments below. Like this video if you like this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. Ring that bell icon to get notified whenever I upload a new video, because you never know what kind of content's going to pop up over here on this channel. I thank y'all so much for watching. I love y'all very, very much, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!